This is a reading of a Wattpad story. It's based off of the Backrooms. As you could see in the title, I'll send a link to the Wattpad if you'll love to read it out loud or alone. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this reading. From different states thousands of miles away, my family and I love to read, but we found that there were no libraries around. All that we have are some small grocery stores, a worn-down GameStop, and a creepy bookstore. Any decent is at least 30 minutes away. One evening, I decided I wanted to get a new book. No one but me and my father was home. My mother and older brother were working. I told that I was going to the eerie bookshop down the street. All right, be careful. We haven't been there long. There might be some people just wanting to rob you or kill you, he said. Be back by 10. I walked down to the shop and checked the time. It was already 8:30 p.m. I felt a close breeze as I read the large sign in the window. Open. It closes at 10. I curiously walked in, looking all around to be sure I was safe. Little did I know, I wasn't. When I saw inside, the store was amazing. Everything was tidy. There were bookshelves everywhere. It smelled nice. Smoothing music was playing. But something seemed off. It was the door in the very back of the store. It read in big letters, "Do not enter." Just as any curious, darling, rebellious teen, I had to break the rules. I decided to look around before I went inside, though I wanted to fulfill my wish of getting a new book. None of the books were interesting to me. They didn't have any art or names, just solid color. Some of the ones I looked at were handwritten. They looked very old. I decided not to get a book that day. It was just only 30 minutes before I went back to the door. I had an hour left. I looked around to see if anyone was looking quickly, but quietly ran in. It seemed like it was a store closet, but I took a closer look and I knew I was wrong. As I walked into the closet, reality seemed to bend. Walls were wrapped, the objects were miscolored. I heard noises coming from the end of the closet. It was much larger than I originally thought. I walked through the wall and through the counters. Space, time, reality has been tempered with and ripped more and more the further I walked. I reached the end, and to my surprise, there was nothing, not a single creature, not a single soul. I began to walk back, but as I approached the first corner, it got dark. I heard growling. As soon as I heard it, I bolted towards the door, and it wasn't fast enough. It caught me swiftly, and in a matter of seconds, I was pushed in a corner and non-clipped out of reality. I thought I would end up somewhere in a distance, but I didn't. Instead, I fell, and I fell, and I fell. The darkness kept growing. I closed my eyes and suddenly felt my back hit a moist floor. It was the Backrooms. The mysterious place I have heard about. It was real. I looked around and saw no exit. All the details about it, the scent, smell, sound, appearance were all true. I wandered the back room searching for an exit. I searched for hours, but had no luck. Every now and then I hear a faint moan or growl up ahead, so I turned back and went to a different hall. Sounds grew louder each time I took a different path. I started to sound like the same creature from before, except this time a little distorted. I was getting closer, trying to find the darkest room I could hide in, but I failed. Instead, I discovered room where there was only an opening. I hit one of the corners and tried to pay no attention to the beast. I was lucky enough it passed by, but I knew as soon as I entered the back rooms that it had heard me. I made a run even though I knew it could probably catch at me. Soon I start running out of breath. I see the dark hallway with the room that hardly had any light coming from around it. Nothing looked exactly like the parts of millions of square miles the place had. I always thought the backrooms would be almost the same throughout the millions of square miles it had. I guess I was wrong. This area was darker than the rest. It was almost dark green, blue type of color, rather than yellow. And the lights were dim, the scent was worse, and the floor was blue, but still damp. The look through this was another storage room. I was careful to be quiet as possible so I wouldn't alarm any demons or otherworldly beings. I walked around quickly and quietly so I see if there's an exit. I searched for what it felt like years. No sounds or movement were made by anything but me. I started to make more sound to see if anything would happen, but there was still silence afterwards. I realized I wasn't in the back rooms anymore. I went through some type of exit. I heard that once you go through the exit you didn't come from, you're much stranger than you were before. I turned the back. The door's locked. I have had to find another way back before I get killed. Nothing of this place has never been documented as far as I'm concerned. The place I seemed to be a collection of abandoned offices, or maybe it was something else. I finally found a new area, but it looked like a bunch of hallways and rooms. This new area is very disturbing. I saw random creaks of blood every now and then. There were screeches and moans every 5 minutes or so. And I saw shadows of creatures running through the halls and into rooms. I'm pretty sure the last one of them saw me. Some of them stopped their tracks for a split second to look around and then continue on their odd journey to wherever. I don't know for sure either all of them are hostile or not. It's probably best not to find out the hard way though. I was more curious than before. More conscious as before. I've been looking at my surroundings more often, explaining the X, Y, and Z axes, looking at the details on everything in hopes to find something useful or an escape. I've been keeping my eyes peeled and constantly of sounds and scents. I decided to take my shoes off for a bit to feel the floor. I heard a rag lying around and a mask somewhere else. Either appeared to be dumped or damaged in any way if they were brand new. Maybe these areas were lost items appear. And maybe it's the new lucky owner of these two wonderful things. I would remember seeing old and new things lying around here anyways. Preventing myself from getting sidetracked in my own mind, I shook my head and continued to walk through the never-ending building. I found a door, a lonely door, the only door I've seen in forever. I decided to go in. What's next filled me in terror and covered my mouth to prevent myself from screaming.